My name is Marc-André Deschaux, aka Bad, and welcome on Watches TV. And today we have the pleasure of having our good friend Dr. Helmut Kroth to talk about an exceptional timepiece. And I will just go back, plunge into little memories, because the first time I saw this was maybe less than 10 years ago, and I didn't know exactly what it was, but it just blew my mind away. It was something that it was just so emotional. So you have to tell us all about it.
You know, that's now why you know why I bought it. You know, I had the same reaction 21 years ago when Peter Baumberger, the former owner of Urban Jürgensen, showed me the watch, and I never saw something similar, and I was emotional, and I had to take the decision right away. You know,
Yeah.
Of course, he said, I have another client. He told me, I have another client in America who wants to buy the watch, but I prefer to sell it to you, Helmut, because then maybe I can buy it back later on. That was the reason, you know. In those days, I was very much in the vintage Patek Philippe watches, and it was a period of the auction sales, and I had already made my list which kind of watch I would like to bid on the next day at Sotheby's and Christie's and so on. And so Peter comes with his watch, you know, and I said right away, yes, I do it. I didn't think a long time. Yes, I do it. And I was broke.
Well, that was a wise decision of yours, and one that came from your heart, because, I mean, this piece is absolutely incredible. Tell us a little bit more about its inception. How did it come into being, and who were the people involved in it? Because we have some pretty serious names behind that.
Yeah, well, it is a project which took more than 20 years, you know. And I'm not sure when I saw maybe the watch or something before. Derek Pratt started to build his famous pocket watches, tourbillon pocket watches, with his special escapement, you know, force constante, remontoire, in the normal size watches. And that was in the beginning of the 80s, and already very first later he started to think about a watch with an oval case. You know, he said, maybe you read, he said he liked when he was young the pillar boxes, and the pillar boxes were oval in general. And then he thought, it's funny why we don't see oval watches today. And then he realized, because in the Renaissance, the Hals watches, fob watches, they were in general oval, very often oval. And out of a sudden, no more oval watches. And then he said that he realized that it was not so easy. There were special tools necessary, and so on and so on. And then he wanted to combine this idea of the special case with a homage to Breguet, to the inventor of the flying tourbillon, Alfred Helwig, the teacher of the Glasshitter School, and the famous inventor of the detent escapement, the on-show detent escapement. So the watch should be an homage as un des plus grands horlogers de tous les temps, of all the times. So this was for Derek Pratt his masterpiece. Yeah. And it took 20 years or 22 years. That in 2003, when I bought it, I didn't realize the watch was 95% finished, but then it needed still some finishing. You know.
What were the kind of the biggest challenges that explain the time it took to actually come up with this piece?
I mean, the combination of the flying tourbillon with the detent escapement, you know, and then the remontoire escapement from Derek Pratt, to combine all this in such a small place was probably the biggest challenge, you know. And then maybe you will laugh. Probably a challenge Derek Pratt didn't expect is glass. The glass on the watch. He writes in an article, you know, that he tried to find a glass maker, and nobody wanted to do it. At the end, he went to Geneva to meet an artist specialist, and then the specialist refused. So Derek Pratt did it himself, you know.
Seriously?
He did it himself, you know. And then the glass was shipped, and Kari Voutilainen and Peter Baumberger had to redo the glass, and it was a nightmare. So the most dangerous thing about the watch is the glass, you know. Yeah, but no, I mean, the challenge was the harmony, the complete harmony in the watch, from the dial to the movement. And he said also, you know, only in this oval shape you can make the proportions so harmonious with a very big, unusual, large seconds chapter, and on the other side, inside, you have the flying barrel, and on the counterpart you have the flying escapement, and then just this one bridge. You know, it is he didn't make for aesthetical reason a key winding, because of the key winding you would have destroyed this pure view, aesthetical view of harmony. Yeah. You know, so he decided to make it as a key wind board, which Daniels did too. You know.
Of course.
But it was for him mainly a aesthetical reason.
But you feel it. You feel this. I mean, obviously, like you mentioned before, technically it's super challenge what has been achieved. But indeed, on a simple, it's a bit harsh to say this like that, but I mean, on a design perspective, you feel that there's something just right with this piece. Yeah. In terms of proportion, in terms of, everything is well, there's a natural balance about everything about this piece, and it just talks to you.
It does talk to you, right? Of course, the finishing, the decoration is a masterpiece. Yes. Which Derek did a part, and what I realized later, there is Kari Voutilainen who jumped in because Derek already had some problems. So anyway, so the finishing of the watch, the decoration, was a big part Kari Voutilainen was involved in, you know. Mm-hmm.
So quite some nice names involved in this project.
Yeah, right. And Derek had this watch on his visiting card, you know.
Yeah, that was his signature.
That was his signature.
Okay.
That means something.
Yeah, that really means something. That really has a special meaning, I guess, for him. I mean, especially if it took him more than 20 years to finalize. Yeah.
No, you see, if you. I'm sorry, I might take it out. You know, I showed the case to Jean-Pierre Hackman.
Yes.
You know, and he was especially impressed by the spring. You know, the long way of the spring, which you don't see, which is hidden here. You know. He said, "How did they do this?"
Jean-Pierre.
It's funny when somebody like Jean-Pierre tells you, "How did they do this?" You know. And actually, the sunbeam decoration is going in the center to the tourbillon escapement, to see that he chooses this kind of decoration, sunbeam decoration, you know. And there are, beside the mirror polishing, black polishing, as you call it, we have all kind of different hand artisanal work in it. The hammering decoration on the barrel, And
it's
of
just
course
so
the screw.
perfect. It's just like, yeah.
And also the engraving, it's
Yeah.
a quality. It's a
Unbelievable.
wonderful quality.
And obviously, I mean, what to say about that bridge? I mean, that bridge is
Yeah.
it's a masterpiece by itself, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. No,
And the size of that tourbillon, I mean, it's
The
just,
size of
it's
the tourbillon.
immense. I mean,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
unbelievable.
He wanted to do a large balance. The balance is published in the book of Daniels, you know.
Yes.
In the book of Daniels, yeah. And Derek and Dennis, we know, they were very good friends. You know. And, also, which we cannot show here, under the dial, the finishing and the decoration is the same quality, you know, impressive, you know. And you see kind of the up and down indicator. There is a special layout of the up and down indicator, you know. So there are hidden tricks or treasures in the watch, which you don't see right away, you know. Yeah.
And what is the case made out of?
The cage.
The case itself.
The case is platinum.
It's platinum, yeah, because it does feel indeed a little bit.
Well, at the beginning, the first case is silver. We have two cases. The watch has two cases. A silver case. I don't know. It's a silver case and the platinum case. You know. Yeah. They're both fantastic quality. But I think the watch deserves a platinum case.
I think it's rather appropriate indeed.
I know Urban Jürgensen and Peter Bomber went crazy to make this case, and the case maker artisan, he said, never again, you know. When he it took 3 times more than expected, and it was very difficult. Yeah, because we know that the platinum, to work the platinum is very it's very difficult to work and get it equal and smooth, you know. Yeah.
So you had this piece for quite a while, and I mean, this obviously you must have like a very special personal relationship with this piece.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the piece was always in Switzerland and stayed in Switzerland. Every time I came to Switzerland, it was like Christmas gratification, you know. I looked on the watch and said, tomorrow I see my watch, you know. So I created a relationship to this watch, and when you create a relationship to an object, you come to a point where you think you have everything in this watch, you know. And that is a little bit the situation nowadays. More affection and more emotion to the watch I cannot have. And today, it is a pleasure for me to share the pleasure with another collector, to see that he has fun with it, maybe for another 20 years like I had, you know.
How long did it take you to get to that decision point of saying, well, now it's time for somebody else?
Yeah, well, as I said before, the first years, I think I felt very lonesome with this watch. I said, I'm the only one. Maybe, you know, I have a special taste, or I see things which other people don't see, you know. And then in the Basel fairs in 2011, 12, when I showed the watch, I saw the reaction of the watchmakers, which probably saw much more in the watch than I saw. For me, it was like intuitive, and they saw the technique behind and the way it was done, you know. So,
and we're not talking any watchmakers, right?
No, we're not talking. You know,
well, a few of them, but please, I mean, I think you guys would be quite impressed by the people that are being impressed by this piece.
I mean, was of course Kari Wutilani knew the watch. He came, and then Philippe Dufour and Navas, you know, from time. Anyway, it was always a pleasure to see these people, and you know, it is one thing that people like the watch, but the watch has. It's very difficult to evaluate price on the watch, you know. And I always had the feeling it is not yet the moment, you know. So we had different steps. There was this exposition when you saw it the first time.
Absolutely, yeah.
You were the first time. There was.
I remember Roger Smith being involved, looking at it, being very admirative.
Other important watchmakers. And then a year ago, we had the 250 years of Urban Jürgensen with the exposition. And of course, it was a masterpiece in this exposition. And I saw in the last couple of years that the collector's market, or the top sophisticated collector, got aware of the watch. And they got the same reaction, similar reaction, not the same, that I had 21 years ago. And I said, okay, also I think the watch is mature for the right it deserves.
Yeah.
As an
People have a better understanding of what it means. Because I mean, this is, I mean, it's a Grail watch. I mean, it's something that is just like, indeed, there's only one. It has so much significance.
So much significance.
And it's, I mean, there won't be that many opportunities of, I mean, it's part of a very small club of timepieces that are just, you know, all the way up there.
Yeah. You know, the biggest collector in the second half of the 20th century was Dr. Geschwind. He said to me one time, Helmut, you know, if you want to buy an extraordinary piece today, you have to pay the price from tomorrow, because after tomorrow it has no price anymore. Then he said, but the problem is to know what is extraordinary. That was his experience after 40 years of collecting, you know.
Well, that's quite a lot of wisdom in these words.
Eugen Geschwind, yeah. He was a character.
Incredible. Well, I hope you won't feel too lonely once it's gone. I mean, I hope that...
there is a time to buy. The buy was a high. The buy was a high. And maybe the sell will also be a high, you know. We will see, you know.
Well, I definitely hope that it will find its place in the right hand, and somebody that indeed understands the significance of this piece.
I mean, you know, it's also a little bit of time of age, you know, question of age, you know. And I think it's more fun to see a piece like that when you're still there than when it goes and there you have a control. I have a little control about it, you know, to say it is.
And maybe you'll still be able to go and visit it.
It is not an online sale on Christmas Eve, you know.
No, it deserves some kind of apotheosis, some kind of a firework around this piece. So, well, I mean, I've been very privileged to see this piece a few times now, and each time it's just, I find it emotionally special. It's just
I mean, extraordinary pieces. You keep, you know, you keep the emotion to it. You know, it works. You keep the emotion. If you have something and it's just how to say ein Strohfeuer, oder es ist ein und dann geht es, and after that you lose the interest in the piece, which is very often the case. You like something great, and then all of a sudden you lose it. With my experience here, after 21 years, I have not lost any affection to this piece. You know.
Well, I can understand. Well, really, thank you for sharing this beautiful story with us, and obviously we're hoping all the best for the next owner, but he's going to be a lucky person.
That's for absolutely. Sure. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much for watching. See you real soon, and well, viva crazy watchmaking. Ta-da!